South Africans are facing increasing financial pressure as the cost of living continues to rise and the way people earn an income evolves. More households are relying on small businesses, informal trade, commission-based work and multiple income streams to make ends meet. Now, while these realities may change from month to month, one thing remains constant: the desire to protect the people we love. So drawing on Metropolitan's latest consumer research, Luke Nell, a South African actuary and the head of protection solutions at Metropolitan, joins us to unpack the hidden impact of funeral policy lapses, why maintaining protection is just as important as taking it out, and how the No-Lapse Funeral Growth Plan was developed as an additional protection solution for qualifying customers whose income may not always be predictable. Luke joins us now. What a pleasure, Luke. Thank you very, very much for coming in and talking about, I think, an issue that we don't like to speak about, but one that is incredibly important in our lives.
Thank you very much for having me, Leanne.
So at the moment, we're living in very, very tough times. I don't know what it is, but it just seems that there seem to be a lot of people struggling around us. There seem to be people that are passing on younger and younger, and the economic challenges in our times are making the situation much worse. How are South Africans coping when it comes to protecting their families financially?
Yeah, times are definitely tough, but we've seen that South Africans are even tougher. There is that constant need for this financial protection of one's family, and we're seeing that need doesn't change in tough times. We're just seeing that people are making a plan. They're getting income differently. As you've mentioned, there's about 11.9 million people in the foundation market in South Africa, and these are the guys they're making a plan through the gig economy, through seasonal work, domestic work, through side hustles, entrepreneurship opportunities, small businesses. So they just use different sources of income to supplement what they've got. And the income doesn't arrive in a predictable manner. They don't get paid on the same day every month. They don't get paid the same amount every month. They just earn differently. For example, someone who bakes cakes out of the house. They might have a fantastic month because there's lots of birthdays and they've got a lot of orders and the money's coming in right through the month. But some other months, there might not be many orders and they're sitting with too much month at the end of their money. There's different realities for different South Africans, and not everyone's income arrives in the same way.
Yeah. And this is the thing. I mean, you speak about these 11.9 million people whose income may be irregular. So that's what your research, and you just mentioned it now. What does it reveal about how often these consumers are forced to actually stop paying for insurance?
Yeah, the reality is, because the income is not consistent, there's not a lack of financial discipline or lack of financial planning. The reality is just some months there isn't money to make these payments. So what happens is policies that they often take out with a real commitment and a real intention to pay, things happen. They miss a couple of months of payments and these policies end up lapsing. And it's everyday things. It's real life happening. Medical expenses. Sometimes it's as small as your child loses their jersey at school. That 300 Rand for the jersey would have paid the funeral policy. This month it can't. Your policy ends up lapsing and you lose financial protection which you've had for 10 years as an example.
Yeah. And this is a thing, it's a real thing, because I mean what you go on to say is that, and this figure is staggering, that around 6 billion Rand worth of funeral cover is lost every single year because policies lapse. I mean, this is very concerning, I would imagine.
It's a very big number, and it leaves a lot of people vulnerable. It's not just a lack of financial protection, it's actually a emotional pressure that it puts on people, because at the time when they actually need the cover, oftentimes the policy has lapsed and the cover is no longer there. It puts family under immense stress in a time that's already financially and emotionally very, very difficult when someone passes on.
Yeah. So, I mean, if we look at this, so you say basically customers lose years of contributions when a policy lapses. So, I mean, I could be paying religiously for 10 years and then I lose my job and then suddenly I just can't afford to pay for the next couple of months. Does that mean I lose everything that I've paid to you?
Yeah, so you would have enjoyed cover over the time that you have paid. You would have cover for that 10-year period, but Then most policies, if after you've missed about 3 consecutive payments, there is some grace in that, and there are some features on products to keep policies in force. But the reality is, after a few missed payments, typical funeral policies lapsed. And that's why we've designed this no-lapse funeral plan, because we really want to get rid of that feature for people who experience these hardships.
Yeah, and that is important, because I mean, at the end of the day, when you sort of, if I'm contributing all this money and then suddenly something happens, at least there is that backup that you do have. So let's talk about this this issue, and when we do take out something like this, I mean, how much more are we adding to our portfolio by adding that kind of security to our funeral cover?
Yeah, so like you said, the No-Lapse Funeral Growth Plan can definitely supplement what you've got in terms of your funeral cover already, or if you don't have any funeral cover, it can help you start establishing. So in the name of the product, the word growth is in there, and that's very intentional, because this funeral plan is designed to grow with you. So you basically start out with your cover at zero, but every premium payment that you make, you buy additional cover that you've got for life. So you might start with your first payment of about 200 Rand, and you might buy about 1,000 Rand of cover. But the next premium buys you another 1,000 and another 1,000 and another 1,000. So after a year, you might have 10,000. After 5 years, you might have 50,000, 100,000, depending on your contribution. So this plan really is there to supplement what you've got, or as I said, to start establishing something with the knowledge that once you've reached our minimum premium of 1,500 Rand, you will have cover for life. You cannot lose it. You can't go backwards. And by contributing every time you pay, you get more and more cover over time.
Yeah. All right. So, I mean, this is an important conversation, because I can imagine that you've seen, and we have seen it as well, when, you know, people die suddenly and there's just no way of accessing money if you haven't already planned for something like this. So perhaps maybe talk to us about the details. Where do we find more information about getting this kind of cover and, you know, securing the future for ourselves and our loved ones?
Yeah, so Metropolitan has made it really simple and accessible to get into this product. So we're selling it through WhatsApp and our digital channels. So you can simply WhatsApp the word no-lapse to 0860 724 724, or you can just hop onto our website, metropolitan.co.za, or for very simple terms, just Google the word no-lapse. You will find us at the top of the Google results, where you can learn more about this plan. You can also give us a call on 0860 724 724 if you want to speak to someone about it, or you can go to our extensive branch network across the country and ask for a servicing agent to assist you.
All right, we'll leave it there, Luke. Thank you. Thanks very much for talking to us about this issue. Luke Nell, a South African actuary and the head of protection solutions at Metropolitan, unpacking Metropolitan's No-Lapse Funeral Growth Plan. So it's a plan that protects funeral cover. And of course, if there's some reason that you're not able to pay it, at least if you do have this, there is protection against it, and you'll be able to still give your loved one or yourself that funeral that we know costs a lot of money. All right, let's leave it there. Take a break. See you after this. All of our regulars up next. Your trending topics, question of the day as well as the front pages of our newspapers. Stay with us.